Good evening. A man armed with a piece of wood has threatened police after a chase through our northern suburbs. During the tense standoff in Marangaroo, the man also lit a spray can, turning it into a small flamethrower. Nick Overall reports.
Confronted with a sticky situation, police corner a man on Curtin Road in Marangaroo, where a tense standoff heats up. Video captured from a nearby home shows him igniting a flammable spray multiple times as officers try to calm him down.
It's so scary. I got kids inside the house. Yeah, they were hearing it as well.
Around 30 minutes earlier, it's alleged that Sean Malcolm Anderson failed to stop for police in Kundoola, leading them on a chase in a Holden Cruise, cutting a red light. Police say he threw a liquid substance out of the driver's window before finally stopping in Marangaroo, where this last stand unfolded.
He certainly was yelling and screaming and like he was, what are you going to do to me? Don't take me away, I don't want to go to jail, that sort of thing.
An ambulance arriving soon after, he's eventually arrested and taken to hospital. The 43-year-old from Nangara now faces 7 charges, including reckless driving, no authority to drive and being armed in a way that may cause fear. It's alleged he was also on bail at the time of the chase. In Joondalup Court today, he was denied bail and will stay behind bars until his next court appearance, January 19th. Nick Overall, 7 News.
You're about to see the moment an arsonist strikes in Subiaco. Security cameras capture the firebug lighting up a rubbish bin, then walking away. The blaze gutted a cafe and came close to wiping out a wedding dress boutique, and with it, the dreams of dozens of Perth brides.
In the back of a Subiaco alleyway, the moments before a sinister act. A person approaches a rubbish bin around 2 a.m. There's a flash before they casually walk away. Seconds later, a fireball erupts, quickly spreading to a nearby coffee shop on Hay Street. Firefighters rush to help. Next door, a popular boutique in the firing line. Bridal dreams minutes away from disaster. The owner, Lisa Selman, was woken up by an alarm, smoke billowing into her boutique.
I raced inside and grabbed a fire extinguisher and we were attempting to do what we could. We got the gowns that were nearest the exit outside the building so that they were safe.
Crews managed to control the blaze before it could spread, but Popples in Subiaco wasn't so lucky.
This is the front of the damage.
This morning, the damage lay bare, the back room gutted.
I feel for the cafe, but yeah, we're very relieved.
Popples Cafe is now facing a damage bill of up to $70,000 and they'll have to close for weeks. Luckily, they are insured. While dresses destined for Perth brides are wheeled outside for fresh air. The fire is being treated as suspicious. The arson squad called in to investigate.
They're special neighbours to us and we feel for what they're going to be going through.
A big day for this Subiaco business, but not the big entrance they had in mind for these dresses. Rebecca Petroska, 7 News.
Compliance checks have been cut as illegal vapes and tobacco continue to be sold under the counter. Nicotine use is surging in WA. Health advocates warn the problem will spiral without swift government intervention.
From fire bombings to drive-by shootings, WA's illicit tobacco market is so competitive for criminals because consumers can't get enough.
The illegal tobacco trade is thriving because state laws and penalties haven't kept up.
Vapes are illegal, but they're easy to buy. Sold under the counter at dodgy convenience stores and tobacconists. It's the health department's job to police it, but compliance checks have been slashed. In the past 12 months, the number of inspections dropping by more than 300. Compared to 2021, they halved.
This is breathtaking incompetence.
The Health Minister declined our request for an interview, instead told 7 News officers completed larger and more complex investigations, seizing 4 times the number of illegal cigarettes and nearly 7 times the amount of loose tobacco compared to 2024. In a crackdown, police have charged 11 people with 51 offences.
In every case, every person we've charged, they've been paid the grand total of nothing. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out that getting paid $0 to go to jail for a very long time is not a very good deal.
Australian tobacco use was steadily declining until around 2020. Cue the introduction of vapes and e-cigarettes. Now the numbers aren't looking good. Total nicotine use is trending back up. Last year, Lottery West suspended 7 retailers who'd allegedly sold illicit tobacco. Tonight, we can reveal 4 of them have been given a second chance, their licence reinstated, now subject to random on-the-spot audits. Cassidy Moscone, 7 News.
West Coast is standing by troubled player Tyler Brockman after police revealed they're investigating his involvement in a wild Geraldton street brawl. The violence left a man with a broken jaw. His family has confirmed it's pressing charges against Brockman. The young forward was back at pre-season training today. The Eagles say they're continuing to support the 23-year-old. Federal politicians have been ordered back to Canberra early to pass crucial reforms after the Bondi massacre. The Prime Minister made the decision today, introducing what he calls some of the toughest laws in Australia's history.
Hitting back against the peddlers of hate.
The terrorists at Bondi Beach had hatred in their minds, but guns in their hands. This law will deal with both.
Prime Minister Albanese recalls Parliament 2 weeks early
next Monday and Tuesday
to debate the Combating Anti-Semitism, Hate and Extremism Bill. It promises to toughen the ban on prohibited symbols and target the preachers of hate.
We would have a new offence that's punishable by a maximum penalty of 5 years imprisonment.
As well, a new framework to prohibit hate groups. Membership, even promoting the group, made a criminal offence, and the minister armed with powers to cancel visas based on hate speech.
This draws a line in the sand and says racial bigotry of itself is a reason to be able to refuse a visa.
The bill also sets up the government's planned gun buyback.
There are more guns now in Australia than there were at the time of the Port Arthur massacre.
The opposition suggests the bill takes in too many complex matters. Though late today had still not seen the full legislation, so would not say how it will handle next week's debate here.
We haven't had a single bit of input into what the government have provided. We want to get this right.
Though one government critic calls today's announcement timely.
I think in many ways we've got the mechanisms available to us. Now it's time to put them into play.
The Prime Minister says he expects the new laws will fire a constitutional challenge in the High Court, perhaps from radical groups who will argue that their free speech has been infringed by the laws. It's been 12 years since then Attorney General George Brandis famously told the Senate here, "People have a right to be bigots, you know." Well, that's now far less clear. At least some bigots under these new laws could face the prospect of jail. Charlotte.
Thanks, Tim. The crisis in Iran is worsening by the day, with the death toll from the anti-regime uprising soaring past 500. Donald Trump is being briefed on options for a military strike as US intervention looks increasingly likely.
Outside this overflowing Iranian morgue, the dead fill the footpaths. Body bags lie open here and inside this school hall so families can find their loved ones killed by security forces. The scale of the medical operation leading many to believe the number of dead reported to be in the hundreds is actually in the thousands. But instead of crushing dissent, it seems only to fuel further protest. That these videos make it through Iran's digital blackout at all, taken as evidence the regime's control is weakening. Down with America chants the nation's parliament, but around the world, displaced residents demand Donald Trump install Reza Pahlavi through regime change.
Mr. President, you have already established your legacy as a man committed to peace. They know that you're not going to throw them under the bus.
For protesters here, news the US and Israel are considering striking Iranian military targets is met with mixed emotions. Any blow against the regime would be welcome, but they know it would almost certainly further destabilise their homeland.
If he would help us, that would be amazing, that would be great.
It has to be. We paid
for our people in Iran. They're paying their life with it.
In London, Ben Downey, 7 News.
And tensions were pushed to breaking point in Los Angeles, where a U-Haul truck ploughed through a crowd of around 3,000 protesters at an Iran solidarity rally. The chaotic scene only escalated from there. Angry demonstrators swarmed the truck, trying to throw punches at the driver as police made an arrest. At least 2 people were hurt. 7 News can reveal sparks from a trailer ignited a devastating blaze in Victoria. So far, it's destroyed more than 150 structures and claimed the life of a local cattle farmer. His body was found 100 metres from a car, only minutes from the property he shared with his wife.
Run off the road as fires raged across the state. This is the shell of Max Hobson's ute. It was his ticket out of the disaster zone, but the cattle farmer stayed to defend his property south of Euroa. In his 80s, his body found 100 metres down the road. He was just 10 minutes from home.
He was always very nice to me, and hearing that he's passed, it's not good. It doesn't feel good at all.
His wife escaped the catastrophic conditions, now mourning her husband, with no home to return to, any shred of memories of their property reduced to rubble in a fire, indiscriminate, relentless and unforgiving. It's the first fire-related death in a disaster which has now spread to more than 400,000 hectares. The smoke visible from space, the scars burnt into the land. A farmer losing his livelihood, one of more than 1,000 impacted across the state.
Unbelievable that they've saved this.
Kathy Munslow's home also saved.
So many people have lost so much. It's horrific.
Running a sanctuary for animals who've been abused, she knows they went through hell again when she has to leave them. That was her returning to find all but one of her animals miraculously survived.
Stuff can be rebuilt, but they can't be replaced.
After days of cooler conditions, there are still fires burning out of control. For the thousands of fire crews, this is a marathon fight. Far from over, where the fires are under control, the danger is real, causing frustration for heroes trying to get in to replace the lifeblood of these farms. A region filled with wineries and orchards, this was once the heart of the industry. The Coolstall Cooperative kept priceless stock for dozens of local businesses in and around Harcourt, now counting their losses.
We are starting and opening the Victorian Bushfire Appeal. Donations will be able to start to being made tomorrow online.
The Premier promising every dollar raised will go back to those communities. Rochelle Brown, 7 News.
WA homeowners are setting the pace for the take-up of solar batteries. With lower prices and government rebates, 6 of the top 20 suburbs across the country are here in WA. But as Jeff Parry reports, changes are coming.
Summer chews up electricity and eats into household budgets. The Melbourne family of Gwelup has taken the plunge. Running a pool pump, air conditioning and other electrical appliances to keep life comfortable come at a cost around $1,600 a year.
Now they're like around $200.
They did it by installing the latest home solar battery and claiming a 30% federal government rebate on upfront costs and a $1,300 state government one-off payment.
One, it's renewable, and also why wouldn't you want to save money? If it's good for the environment and it's good for your pocket, why wouldn't you?
Rowan McGlue sells and installs home batteries and says the economics are improving all the time.
Now the reality is here that they can make a really well-informed decision.
In the 6 months the rebate scheme has been operating, 22,000 WA homeowners have bolted a battery to their solar panels. The top 10 WA suburbs for home battery take-up are Armidale, Coburn, Wanneroo, Canning Vale and Mandurah, followed by Brabham, Baldivis, Ellenbrook, Gosnells and Cannington.
They are generally outer metro suburbs where people want to reduce their energy prices and reduce emissions.
Solar battery retailers and installers are expecting a rush over the next 5 months. That's because from May 1, the rebate scheme will be scaled back. Jeff Parry, 7 News.
It's full steam ahead for this weekend's Sail GP mega event in Fremantle. The grandstand is set and the teams are busy preparing. But as James Carmody reports, local business is expected to be the biggest winner.
A spectacle on the sea, and that's just the grandstand.
Any closer and you'd get your feet wet.
Built by 3 generations of the Taylor family and their local business, this unique 5,000-seat setup is tailor-made for Sail GP.
It's perfect position, it really is. And, you know, we're really proud of being able to produce such a smart looking stand.
The event in Fremantle for the first time, a homecoming for Australian coach Ben Durham.
Everyone in Europe's quite cold at the moment, so everyone's loving getting down to Perth and having this sunshine and the heat, and the wind.
The Aussies hoping for a home ground advantage. The famous Fremantle doctor expected to see the catamarans break speed records and cement Freo firmly back in the sailing world.
You know, I was lucky enough as a 10-year-old to be able to watch the America's Cup from the rocks in South Mole, and now to be able to have this come to town, which is just a spectacular event for spectators, so really exciting.
15,000 spectators are expected across the weekend to watch the 100km/h racing. Fremantle hotels are almost fully booked. Sail GP expected to inject some $40 million into the local economy.
It's an absolutely phenomenal amount of people descending on Fremantle for the racing.
Oh look, we've already seen an uplift in sales at night. We had, I think, a German team here 2 nights ago. So I think, yeah, it's going to get busier, absolutely busier.
Seats are almost sold out, but there's more opportunities to see the GP up close.
Tomorrow between 12 and 3, the teams will do their first on-the-water practice here at Fremantle. And if the wind is anything like this, there'll be no shortage of action.
Freo venues will also be showing the races on screens, others tuning in from around the world.
This year, next year, the year after, we will be on the global stage and everyone will think Fremantle.
James Carmody, 7 News.